The Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Cleveland Browns. This is who's in, who's out, and everything you need to know about this game. So, the 8-2 Pittsburgh Steelers will take on the 2-8 Cleveland Browns today, Thursday Night Football at 8:15 p.m. Eastern Time. This game will be played in Cleveland at Huntington Bank Field. But first, before I get more into it, make sure you subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications for everything Pittsburgh Steelers news and updates. Also, like this video. Now, let's get right back into it. So, the Pittsburgh Steelers will face an AFC North division rival for the second week in a row, and this time coming off a short week after just facing the Ravens on Sunday. This is the second AFC North divisional game the Pittsburgh Steelers have played all season, and it's going to be a battle. Even though the Cleveland Browns have a lot of injuries, this game is always close, and the Steelers and the Browns are always a tough matchup. Even though the Pittsburgh Steelers always end up coming out with a win, especially in Cleveland, let's see how this game goes today with Russell Wilson under center versus Jameis Winston under center for the Cleveland Browns, a different quarterback matchup than we've seen in years past. So, before we could get into the game though, we have to get into who's in, who's out, who won't be playing, and who will be playing. So the Pittsburgh Steelers injury report for this week, let's start off with them, because it looks a bit lengthy, but when you get into the nitty gritty of it, there's only 2 players actually out. So the players who appeared on the injury report was Najee Harris, Corey Trice Jr., Alex Highsmith, Isaac Seumalo, McCole Pruitt, Cameron Hayward, TJ Watt with some vet days off, and Larry Ogunjobi. So those are the people who appeared on the report, but the players who actually won't be playing and actually have a game status is Corey Trice Jr. He's out with a hamstring injury. And you look at linebacker, edge rusher, Alex Highsmith with an ankle injury, he is out as well. So those are the only 2 players who will be missing this game for the Steelers, other than obviously the players who are on injured reserve. There's a lot of players from the Pittsburgh Steelers who are out because of injury reserve, but they've been out for a while. This is the recent one. So, looking at the Cleveland Browns for their injury report this week, you look at their team, and they have a lengthy one as well in terms of players who appeared on the injury report, but they as well only have 2 players who will miss the game. You look at the players who appeared on the injury report, you look at Joel Binto, you look at Jordan Hicks, Marquise Hurst, Jerry Jeudy, Elijah Moore, Myles Garrett, David Njoku, Greg Newsome, Dorian Thompson-Robinson, Swan, Denzel Ward, Jarek Wills. All those guys appeared on the injury report, but the only people who were out for this week's game is tight end Geoff Swyman with a concussion and tackle Jarek Willis with a knee injury. Other than that, everyone else is good to go. Once again, this is only the injury report for players on the active roster. The players who are injury reserve don't appear on the injury report. So Deshaun Watson, he's already out for season, but he won't appear on the injury report because he's on IR. So these are the injuries for the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Cleveland Browns. It's not that big of a lengthy injury report in terms of players who will miss the game, who are on the active roster. So let's see how this game pans out. Like I said, the Pittsburgh Steelers are coming off just facing the Ravens, and TJ Watt has talked about it, coming off of an AFC North game, and then playing another AFC North game on a short week is never easy, and it's just a matter of fact of getting your body right. There's obviously no complaining, no excuses. It's a short week, a tough game, but the Steelers are in it. If they want to show out and have a long playoff run, these are the games that they have to win to maybe get that top seed in the entire AFC and getting first place, or just winning first place in the division. These are the games that you need to have a quick turnaround. It doesn't matter. Yes, it's an AFC North game, but the Pittsburgh Steelers are one of the best teams in the NFL and can do it. No excuses. The Cleveland Browns are on a short week as well. They're not facing the AFC North team back-to-back weeks, but the Steelers will be doing that for most of the season now, because the 6 of their final 8 games is against AFC North games, going back to last week. So the Pittsburgh Steelers is a quick turnaround, but they need to get through it. Now, looking at the keys to the game for both teams, starting off with the Pittsburgh Steelers, looking at what they need to do to win this game is just play good defense. Play good defense, not let players show out like Jameis Winston. keep Jameis Winston in check because he's been throwing the ball better than Deshaun Watson has since he went down with the injury. Jameis Winston has stepped up and was actually able to throw the ball to receivers, tight ends, and get everyone else involved. So if you just keep Jameis Winston in check, you really should win this game. Nick Chubb, of course, is going to do what he does. He's coming back from an ACL, MCL injury. So right now he's not really himself. If you keep him in check in terms of how he's been playing this season, and don't let him do what he's done in years past, you should win this game easily. The Cleveland Browns defense is something that you have to worry about a little bit because of Myles Garrett, of course, rushing the passer. We all know Russell Wilson takes a lot of sacks. So Myles Garrett getting to the quarterback is something you have to look out for. And then obviously the cornerbacks and the defensive backs is the key to this team for the Cleveland Browns. So the Steelers just need to play good defense, keep players in check, and then offensively, don't allow sacks. And you should be good for this game. Run the ball, play action, just like they've been doing in games past. That's what Russell Wilson likes doing, handing the ball off, play action off of it. So take your deep shots to George Pickens, but that's really the game plan for the Steelers. And then just be a game wrecker on the defense side of the ball, making a backup quarterback make mistakes, and making a young offense that hasn't really played too much time together make mistakes. So looking at the Cleveland Browns perspective, what they have to do in this game, they have to have everyone kind of show out more than they have in games past. They have to have Nick Chubb return to his old self and actually do well. I know he's come off injury, so it's really hard, especially that tough of injury. But if he's able to play mediocre like he has this season, then the Cleveland Browns won't have a chance. But if he shows out and plays how he's done in years past and kind of carry this team, then they have a better chance to win this game. And if Jameis Winston doesn't throw 3 interceptions, doesn't get turnovers, they'll be more in the game than not. So that's what the Cleveland Browns need to do. And obviously their defense, just do what they've been doing and get to the quarterback, force turnovers, and you'll have a better chance to win this game. Either way, I still think the Pittsburgh Steelers will win this. And this, by some means of the imagination, the Cleveland Browns just show out and shock the world. But the Steelers, they should win this game. With that being said, that's my thoughts on the game. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below on this game. And who do you have winning? Do you believe the Pittsburgh Steelers will win this game? Or do you believe the Cleveland Browns will win this game? Like I said, I personally believe the Steelers, this should be an easy one, especially with the players not playing to their standard for the Cleveland Browns and just looking at their record-wise. Obviously, you can't go by record because this is AFC North and it doesn't matter the record. It's always a tough game, even though the Steelers usually end up on top. But the AFC North versus the Cleveland Browns this season, it should be an easy 2 wins if the Steelers just been playing and play this game like they've been playing all season. So that's how I see it. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. And one last thing before I end this video, I just want to say this. Myles Garrett talked about TJ Watt in his press conference leading up to this game, basically saying, hey, when I won Defensive Player of the Year, he was basically complaining on social media, saying I shouldn't have won it, that he should have won instead. I've never done that. I feel like I should have won in years past, but I never went out there and complained. But obviously, TJ Watt, it's not about complaining about Myles Garrett winning it. It's about him not winning it. It's not about Myles Garrett winning it. It's about TJ Watt putting up better stats than everyone in the league for, 5-10 years now. And he just never gets the credit he deserves. He only has 1 Defensive Player of the Year award when he really should have 4. So it's mainly just complaining about that. But TJ Watt has said he has nothing against Myles Garrett, even though Myles Garrett is trying to make something out of nothing and bring TJ Watt up into this. So just to know, that's a little bit of a storyline heading into this game. And TJ Watt said, I'm not competing against Myles Garrett. This is the Steelers against the Browns. So if he wants to make this a him versus me matchup, that's not how it is. I just want the Steelers to win at the end of the day. And that's the right mindset. It's not defense versus defense. It's not Myles Garrett versus TJ Watt. It's not player versus player. It's both the team versus the team. So the Steelers usually come out on top, and it's because of that type of attitude compared to Myles Garrett's type of attitude in terms of making it a one-on-one matchup, when technically and in reality, it's not in any sort of way. And also, make sure you subscribe to the channel, turn notifications for everything Pittsburgh Steelers news, updates, highlights, analysis reports, everything surrounding Pittsburgh Steelers. I cover it. Doesn't matter what it is, rumors or not. Also, this is the best spot for listening and watching the Pittsburgh Steelers news if you don't want to read it. So, like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications, and until next time, I'll see you guys all later. I'm out. Peace.